So, we're beginning our top 8. This is going to be best 2 out of 3, by the way. And let's see how we go. Been a lot of Draco Tail mirror matches so far. We're starting off with at least one Draco Tail deck, as Lucas goes ahead and summons Draco Tail Malulu. The effect is chained to by X-Slayer with Ultimate Fuwalos. So we will see Draco Tail Arthalion slapping down here and drawing a card off the Fuwalos. If you don't recognize the sleeves, those are exclusive to those who are playing the game on PlayStation 5, actually. So, we'll go ahead and set the Ketsu Draco Tail off the Malulu, and then Draco Tail Famina gets a chance to play here. Going to set the Draco Tail Horn. And then Arthalion gets to pick up shop here, adding the Famina back to the hand immediately. Must be nice. We'll see the Ketsu Draco Tail activated here. We are all caught up to live play, and we got a little bit of delay here, but we are live. Cannot believe top 8 after everything. So many duels and so many Lunalight players showing up very late in the tournament, so I'm very curious to see if we see any Lunalight surprises here. So setting an additional card, that always flags down to me that they happen to hard open the trap cards. So let's see if that turns out to be right. We don't know what EX Slayer's on. Flagging Yummy there with their icon, but doesn't mean anything. We'll see another Ultrami Fuwalos in the draw phase. Perfect to avoid the Draco Tail Famina activation in main phase. And it looks like we'll let that resolve, although it seems like they had something they could chain. So entering main phase 1, it is going to be a Draco Tail mirror match. Every deck's slightly different in its ratios, but starting off with the Draco Tail Lucius to add from the deck to the hand. Gorgeous Draco Tail Famina, as you can see above my head. Draco Tail Famina discarded there. Maxi at the ready, that was the chain. Is there an Ash Blossom? No, so we go ahead and resolve here. So Lucas gonna get some cards, and X-Slayer able to fuse. Taking a moment to think about what he wants to do here. So he lets the card resolve. Certainly been a long day, about 5 hours into the tournament so far. So some of the duels may not be feeling their best, or maybe they're at their peak energy this time. Speaking of peak energy, Fallen of Albaz fusing with Draco Tail Lucius there to make the Draco Tail Gulamel. So one draw, of course, but also trying to get some access to the Lucius, but immediately activating the Draco Tail Sting. Doesn't want to let anything reset, and doesn't want to let the Gulamel get a chance to destroy here, interrupting the ability to chain onto it. So, returning the Ketsu Draco Tail, drawing a single card. Lucius still going to get to set here. It's going to be the Ketsu Draco Tail. I love when duelists communicate like that. You saw that he sent it immediately to that zone, saying, you may have gotten this, but you won't get my Ketsu Draco Tail. Must be nice. Those of us in the TCG about to say goodbye to 2 copies of it, but still at 3 in Master Duel here as Ketsu Draco Tail is activated and chained. So Lucas trying to stop that with the Draco Tail Flame. Going to do a little Draco Tail shuffle from the graveyard, replacing the Sting, drawing a new card and negating that. It's pretty difficult for X-Slayer to get off the ground. He's staring down 5 cards in a single set. Dares to ask for infinite impermanence. Although Imperm not super popular in the tournament. And certainly wears the heart on the sleeve, but Gulamel going to activate its effect anyway, targeting the face down. It is going to be activated Draco Tail Horn. Using that to bounce away the Draco Tail Arthalion. Maybe just trying to draw some additional cards here to sculpt that hand as perfect as they can. Skill expression's a big thing in the mirror match. You know, when to hold them, when to fold them. Got to do what you got to do, but Raku Draco Tail does resolve. Put that Gulamel in defense mode in order to dodge the Draco Tail Horn. Looks like we're just going to see a Nibiru the Primal Being and Draco Tail Urgula. So kind of a low reward Draco Tail fusion here. But Draco Tail Arthalion is going to activate its effects. As Chain Link 1 only gets to target 1 because the Nibiru was from the hand, but nobody else. Targets the Nibiru, actually. Really wants to slow the opponent down. And then Urgula will go ahead and try to set a spell or trap as well. Play, pass it back over to Lucas, but he lets it resolve. No response. So Draco Tail Sting being set here, and then grabbing the Nibiru the Primal Being feels pretty nice, right? You get some insurance policy here that your opponent can't go in as hard as they'd like. But speaking of cards you like, Urgula going to try to go to the bottom of the deck to get that beautiful Royal, Phimina, but Ghost Bell and Haunted Mansion says, not in this house. So negating that, back from whence you came. Maybe able to try later, but just not at the moment. Only a couple of cards here and no follow-up. So enter the battle phase, 3,000 attack. 5,000 remains from Lucas. X-Slayer hanging in there. Draco Tail Phimina in main phase 2 here from Lucas. Plenty of cards to fuse with Ramzan that chooses almost all of them. I mean, 60% ain't bad, right? So we get a Pan, Lucius, and an Urgula. And even though the opponent gets to draw one card, just scooping from there, doesn't want to have to deal with all of that. So X-Slayer surrenders. This is a 2 out of 3 set. Want to focus on them when they come back to sit down, but we do have some other duelists at the ready here. Taking a look for, it looks like our top 8 is going to be, again, Ivan Ryan versus Love to Try, Justinian versus NDA Rafa, and G, having that beautiful World Championship icon that he's sporting, and then Meta Man. Makes sense, he is the man with the mark after all. X-Slayer sitting down here. These single elimination brackets really tell stories. That's why we try to focus on individual duelists, one at a time. Let's see if X-Slayer is able to run it back. Gets an opportunity to go first or second. You may see that somebody who wins the coin flip chooses something where you're like, why would they choose that? That's because they're respecting their opponent, who is in a separate Discord chat channel. Again, if you're watching this from the VOD, hi guys, good to see you from the past here. Remember, we're going to be back next week on February 6th through 7th with 768 duelists. That's a lot of duelists. And the gameplay continues to evolve, but remember, that's going to be after the anniversary, so whatever new anniversary cards, give me Dark Magician. Please. Please. That's going to be exciting, because I know there's a lot of duelists. You're like, man, I've seen Draco Tail go. Hey, duelists have a right to win, and with this many prizes on the line, it's a good time. But yeah, X-Slayer won the coin flip, is going first. Switched up gears here, but let's see, Dimension Shifter from Lucas draws the one of. Can you believe it? Oh, but it's going to be Ryzeal. Maybe he's not worried about it. Ice Ryzeal normal summon. Any response here? Play pass it back over to Lucas. He must have something. It's Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. Dangerous gambit here, but if your opponent's otherwise locked out of stuff, if you know Habakiri in hand, if this is Ryzeal Mitsurugi, looks like setting a card. Oh, it worked! The Ash Blossom gambit did pay off. And unable to send any cards for things like X Ryzeal. So now we're summoning Lamia. We have seen Ogdoadic Mitsurugi, full-on stakes. Normal summoning a Reptile, adding a level 8 feels pretty good, especially when that level 8 has a once per duel effect. So revealing the Ame no Habakiri no Mitsurugi to go ahead and special summon the Saji. Do we tribute the Saji? We do tribute the Saji. So Saji effect going to activate here. Let's grab a Mitsurugi spell or trap. Music is certainly high tempo, but X-Slayer's turn has been slowed down pretty fiercely. This may be a quick 2-0, depending. But I'm not cheering against X-Slayer, just here for the ride. Time to Ritual Summon now. Choose from the deck. Definitely caught an Aramasa there. Looks like the other one's Kusanagi here, so we get to add several cards to the hand. But here's Habakiri. Live and in concert, reducing the attack of any of those Ryzeal monsters. Usually it's the other way around, right? So we got our Ice Ryzeal. Ah, beautiful Aramasa there. Didn't catch that before since it was sent to the graveyard, or banishment so quickly. We are still under Dimension Shifter technically, but as we've seen from in-person competitive play, nobody playing Mitsurugi is worried about cards being banished. They just need them to be tributed. And speaking of which, Mitsurugi Prayers is going to be activated. Do we tribute? No Reptile tributed. Looks like Ghost Bell and Haunted Mansion's going to say no, though. Doesn't have to be sent to the graveyard the same way that certain other Ghost Girls do, like Ghost Ogre. I will stop and banish that, but here's a Mitsurugi Ritual. Looks like we are going to Ritual Summon. Do we tribute the Habakiri for the search? We do. So imagine we're going to get Ame no Murakuma no Mitsurugi, which will also clear out the lone Ice Ryzeal here. And with very limited cards left from X-Slayer, fighting for his tournament life, he has to hope that either he's got the perfect card in hand, or this just isn't going to happen. But Ice Ryzeal hits the banishment. Mitsurugi Prayers again added from the deck to the hand. Deck was negated, so you probably won't be seeing it again. But Ame no Habakiri no Mitsurugi is here. Big numbers in this battle phase. 1,300, and that's the scoop. Oh, X-Ryzeal. Nowhere to be seen, and X-Slayer. 2-0. We do get a chance to check out the other side. Let's take a look at Metaman versus G here. Again, you don't always get to see World Championship competitors. So we're in top 8. We did make it. You're just joining us? X-Slayer is down. Let's see what's going on here. We'll take a look at the results of individual duelists momentarily. All right, so Metaman starting with Dracotail Malulu. It looks like this duel just started. We're up to live already. So big think about this fusion. Showcasing the Malice sleeves. Everybody trying to trick each other, right? We've seen Yummy playing Yummy sleeves on a Dracotail deck. We also saw Yummy sleeves on a Lunalight deck. We saw Lunalight sleeves on a Yummy deck. Everybody's really trying to just front. All right, but speaking of front, they front-loaded fusion. 3 materials go in. Urgula, Lulu, and Frixel all about to activate their effects. And the #1 finisher in the game, Dracotail Arthalion. You see this card, you more likely than not are going to win this duel. And no responses from G. Curious what he's on. Looks like he recently shuffled up everything because his game mat and sleeve show nothing. The dueling field is blank. Which is a really neat effect, by the way, when you see like the Sakura blossoms give way and there's almost this little fence in between and then nothing on the other side. That is some very deliberate wind. All right, but speaking of deliberate, focusing on the game, we get to set all the fun Dracotail cards here. And then add Mululu and Frixel back. So playing with a fully loaded silo of Dracotail cards, but hoping to add a little bit more. Ketsu Dracotail is going to get activated. And so, now it's time for Rahu Dracotail. What's better than adding a card from your hand fusing? Couldn't do that all with the Ketsu Dracotail, seeing as it's this early in the game. G not controlling any monsters, but he's just silent, stoic, almost non-existent as Pan and Phimina go ahead and hit the graveyard respectively. And now it's time for Dracotail Gulamel. The #4 finisher, by the way, Dracotail eaten well. So Phimina and Pan able to set more cards here. Imagine we're going to start to wind the turn down with the traps, Dracotail Horn being set. And then Pan setting the Dracotail Sting. 3 cards feel pretty good. Using the Urgula to just grab the Dracotail Phimina. Very consistent. A lot of duelists argue about how many copies to play of Urgula, but as long as you got the 1, even if it was restricted to 1, still feels pretty good. Now we get to find out what G's got. Draws for turn. There's a Maxi and draw phase. Oof. Called by the Grave. Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. Maybe save those for some of the trap cards. Pot of Greed just yapping. Seemingly content. G's got an opportunity to chain something. It's a big choice. Do you Ash Blossom here, if you have Ash Blossom? Or do you save that for one of the traps just to get one of your plays through? Like, your opponent already has everything they need. Why worry about it, right? More cards isn't going to hurt or help. But looks like Abe no Habakiri no Mitsurugi is going to get activated. And no response there, so Special Summon Masaji and Tripping Masaji. That's still going to be 1 draw. If you're going to win, you almost have to win in this turn, but the Saji's effect is stopped. Stymied down by the Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. Do not add a card from the deck to the hand. Mitsurugi Prayer is going to try to do something similar here, tributing the Habakiri. Maybe forcing out the Dracotail Flame. Depends on whether you believe your opponent's got it. Maybe you just save that for the Mitsurugi Ritual. It looks like Dracotail Sting is going to be activated. Sting targeting the Habakiri. Be interesting to see on the Master Roll 2020 front. Oh, but there's the red reboot. Sit down. No more trap cards. I'll pay half my life points gladly to get through this game. So now we really get to see what's going on here with the Mitsurugi deck. Maybe it's Yummy Mitsurugi or maybe it's pure snakes. I can't believe this tournament we saw Snake Rain. Just literally activated. And we got to see Lunalights. And we got to see Ryzeal. Just nice, you know, when the format is diverse, technically. It is. So, Habakiri's effect activated. This is the turn to win it. The Femina and the Gulamel, basically the only thing holding you back. So G grabs that Mitsurugi Ritual, proudly showing this gorgeous card. Shines brightly just for him. Well, now's the moment to use it, but now we're going to use 7th Ascension. So, actually, a Ryzeal Mitsurugi variant. Grabbing 7th Tachyon. Let's see what we reveal from here. One of the greatest cards in the game. Takes a little bit of extra deck space, but it's always fun. I love that he like places it next to it so you can kind of, the cards are paired together. But extra Ryzeal showing up. Now would be a great time to use... Guess you could go for the Meteorologic Aggregator, but instead we're actually sticking with the Ryzeal Duo Drive, causing the opponent to draw there. Extra Ryzeal activating its effects. And going to go ahead and summon out, or search out, Sword Ryzeal, but he'll be here before you know it. Alright, Crackling Thunder. Sword Ryzeal rains down, adding a Light Pyro. It's going to be Ice Ryzeal. Haven't normal summoned yet. Play passes back over. Nothing too scary. Maybe thinking in the back of your mind, okay, maybe there's an Nibiru the Primal Being out there. But if you can get to Ryzeal Cross, that's all you really need. I assume that if we exceed summon here, you'll probably immediately see the Femina from Metaman, because that'd be a great call to use the Gulamel to try to slow things down. Change the conversation for sure. G thinking about it. Been to the World Championship and back again. This is just another Saturday afternoon in one of the greatest duelists of all time's career. I've been to Worlds. I ain't got that icon. So he considers his options, but it looks like he's going to normal summon the Ice Ryzeal and kind of pushing just a little bit when you think about it. It's going to be 4th, 5th summon. That's going to be a special summon. So going in for the Star Ryzeal, allowing for the set of the Ryzeal Cross. Definitely the better route to take instead of just tunneling into Duo Drive. Now, whatever you're going to exceed, you're going to beat the Nibiru, and you do it before the 5th summon. An army of tiny Ryzeal monsters, level 4s, ready to fight for you. Equip and combine. But there's the Nibiru the Primal Being anyway. It wasn't in the 5th summon in time, right? Because, of course, you still had to deal with the Saji that came out. So now that Nibiru's out, got a decent token. The token is painful. Remember, it is going to stop, and that is the scoop from G. You wondered if he had Nibiru. He did, G. All right, let's see where we are in progress here in terms of our in-room replays. So since we started our top cuts, it's going to be right there. Lucas beat X-Slayer. Justinian beat Rafa. G beat Metaman. Lucas beat X-Slayer, advancing. Ivan beat Love to Try. Metaman beat G. So G and Metaman are actually going to go to a 3rd game, so we're definitely going to check that out just to see, again, what our World Championship competitors have when their back is to the wall. Metaman already ready to sit. We'll have to see what happens with Rafa and Justinian, as well as Love to Try and Ivan Ryan if we can. And if not, well, of course, we'll get the results once they advance. And if you're on the VOD, you can just fast forward. But good Yu-Gi-Oh! Just good Yu-Gi-Oh! So G sits down, so we'll get to see things from his perspective this time. All right. Duelists have lined up. And before we know it, we'll be watching these two. It's good stuff for sure. 512 duelists went in, 9 rounds of Swiss, and now we just have these 8. And we will take a brief little switch up so we can get into the top 4 room once they make that. I want to see if they actually already created that for us. It looks like, no, not yet. So we're good. But again, the Deckmaster Cup's been really, really cool. And speaking of really, really cool, be nice to see a really, really good duel. So, life's on the line. Great prizes for the top 8, but better prizes for the top 4. And when you get a World Championship icon, you want to be the top duelist. And you've proven that you have what it takes. All right, so we're going to start with Lamia. Lamia getting normal summoned. Just a great normal summon. A way to kind of bait out stuff. But it looks like we are sticking with the Mitsurugi. Curious to know if this is the same build or if maybe the Ryzeo was taken out. You go first. I mean, this feels pretty good. But Lamia's got some choices. Maybe we already have the Habakiri in hand, and we're trying to add something different. We do have the Murakumo that kind of telegraphs to me that the Habakiri is already there, and we were testing for Ash Blossom and Joy Spring, but we're going to use the Mitsurugi Ritual first. Really trying to be like, no, I'm going to get this done before you even have a chance. So, tributing 2 monsters from the deck and Ritual summoning the Murakumo in the hand. Probably Kusanagi and Aramasa usually go to the graveyard for Mitsurugi Ritual, but we haven't seen Saji yet. So, Saji from the hand and Aramasa from deck. So, 8 stars go in. An 8-star monster comes out. Amino Murakumo no Mitsurugi. A lot of spectators, by the way. If you check this out, you can watch this live in-game. And so, time to add some Mitsurugi cards. Starting with Habakiri. So there was no Habakiri. Almost like the threat of Habakiri was enough to save the Ash Blossom that was needed urgently sooner. And now with Murakumo on the field, it's pretty easy to negate or at least slow down your opponent, make them Magic Drain a card away. Magic Drain the classic, please discard or this will be negated effect. One of the originals. And so here's the reveal on the Habakiri, but it looks like Metal Man, or Meta Man has nothing. Sorry, Metal Man's a very different character. So Murakumo tributed, of course, going to be able to search and special, and then Kusanagi on the field. Kusanagi going to grab that Mitsurugi Ritual. And G, not even fighting for his life, just has a really great setup here, all off the Lamia. You don't see a whole lot of Lamia play in TCG. Granted, we've got different cards, different rules, but it's just funny to like test things with that. But here comes Murakumo. And next, Mitsurugi Rituals activated. So, gonna go ahead and special summon one from the deck by tributing. The Habakiri from the hand disappears. We haven't seen Futsuno Mitama in a while, but it might just be Habakiri to Habakiri. And no, we are going to get Futsuno Mitama no Mitsurugi. Oh, and it's gorgeous too. Duelist of taste for sure. She still has access to a range of plays. Curious to know if maybe we're going to see the zombie vampire. I wouldn't imagine you'd want to do too many favors for your opponent. But instead of stacking those level 8s, we're going to stack these level 4s. And Dugaris the Timeless showing up. Just draw more cards. You just see every single option you can. So draws 2, got to discard 1, and the discard is... we'd have the classic Master Duel Jams. But nothing classic about getting rid of a Lamia from the hand. So using Lamia almost like a Manju, but it is a reptile monster, which really helps. Mitsurugi Mirror, going to Ritual Summon the Forgotten Mitsurugi. So Habakiri coming back. And goodbye Futsuno Mitama no Mitsurugi. So Mitama goes down. Now we properly special summon all 3 Mitsurugi monsters. Everybody in rotation, making those Mitsurugi prayers even stronger. And getting a Magatama. So much advantage. I wonder what we're going to see. We might be really Malice, but it looks like There was a flash there for the Nibiru, the Primal Being. Do you dare tribute all three? Do you wait for an Xyz summon? Interesting stuff either way, because every decision matters. When you think about it, I mean, you have fought for hours to get this far in Swiss, and you did great qualifying, but you don't want to go home. And a single mistake, a single card that shouldn't have resolved, a single, oh no, I right-clicked. You're in trouble. But it looks like we are going to Xyz summon. And it's number 90 Galaxy Eyes Photon Lord. Setting 2 cards. By the way, I think that's at 77% win rate. Hope I didn't say 7% win rate. That'd be bad. But Photon Lord definitely helps. Gives you a little bit more insulation from your opponent's plays. So now it's Metaman's turn. Let's see what he decided. His tournament life is also on the line. Flagging Malice. Going into main phase 1. But it's just straight Draco Tail. So Ketsu Draco Tail activating. Do you stop your opponent or not? Opportunity here for Mitsurugi Purification. Oh, but using the Retaliating C is even better. There's a Max C, but drawing an extra card not really going to help if you're banishing everything else. Depriving your opponent of all of those great triggering cards. So no spells and traps going to get set here. Unless you got a way to stop that Retaliating C. Ooh, Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. Interesting. So could be using the Mitsurugi Prayers. Definitely trying to deny your opponent anything. We are seeing the Draco Tail Pymena. This means at least there'll be some triggers in the graveyard here. Unless you do something with the Photon Lord. Oh, just perfectly insulating. G showing exactly why that icon is worthy. And there's the surrender. Just done. Metaman does not advance, and G continues his reign. All right, we actually do have a chance to check out Ivan Ryan versus their opponent here. And so far, really stellar top 8. Like, really, like, just good, solid, focused play. All right, so Sky Striker Mecha Hornet Jones gonna put that token out. Is it Sky Striker or is it Yummy? Well, we'll see here. Gonna go ahead and make Kagari. Kagari will go ahead and grab the token back. Getting that Sky Striker Mecha readily available in hand. Activates it again. Count the summons, we're at 3. And it is Yummy. Comes to Yummy coming down and searching Yummy Surprise. And then Mitsurugi Prayers. Okay, so the full combo here. And it doesn't look like there's anything to stop it. Hamakiri reveals. Special summons Sasagi and tributes Sasagi to grab another card. It's going to be Mitsurugi Ritual. Practically see into the future here. The lines are known. Mitsurugi Ritual getting rid of Aramasa and Kusanagi. The hold. Hamakiri's here. 2 more effects to add to the stack. Kusanagi and Aramasa. More cards, more card advantage. May be very tough for Ivan to get out of this one. Kusanova Tama and Mitsurugi added to the hand as well. Kusanagi doing the same, adding Mitsurugi Ritual from the graveyard to the hand. Slapping that card down, but there's the Ash Blossom. Don't get to use that other effect. So it'll lightly slow things down. Let's see if this actually stunted gameplay as we see Cupsiyami and Sky Striker Ace Kagari Link summon, right, Link Row, to Cupsiyami Way. And that'll grab a Lollipop Yummy and a Marshmallow Yummy, discarding perhaps the Marshmallow Yummy. Yep, that means you can go ahead and use the Cookie Yummy here for a Yummy Snatchy. That Yummy Surprise will feel really good. Bring back the Yummy Marshmallow and then go back and forth. But Yummy Snatchy going to go ahead and place the Minion Field Spell, which is going to bring back Cupsy Yummy. And then we'll see another Link Row summon. This time it's going to be Lollipop Yummy Way into the extra monster zone to make space for 2 monsters. It's going to be Cookie Yummy and Marshmallow Yummy. Then this will be a Link 2 of Sprite Elf. Oh no, I know a lot of people with opinions on Sprite Elf. very powerful given the fact that it brings back your level 2, which allows you to continue your combo. You actually did use the Tuner or Natsu monster for the Shamisen Samsara Sorrow path. And that'll immediately go by the wayside for Herald of the Arclight. It's a great card. We'll be saying goodbye to that soon in the TCG. But now we'll link off one more time for IP Mascarena. Some very strong plays. You can see there's not really a whole lot going on the opposing side of the field. They really do love to try. You're absolutely right. It's a great name for them, but you will see Habakiri made from the dust there of the Futsunoma Tamana Mitsurugi, who will go ahead and grab the Mitsurugi prayers and then special summon itself to the field initially, but it wasn't properly ritual summoned this time. Shamisen Samsara Saropat is back. Yummy Surprise to get Marshmallow Yummy. Marshmallow Yummy to get Yummy Surprise. I mean, the combos write themselves. This duel is really going to be about what Ivan is able to do with those 4 cards. And you're going to have to do that through Herald of the Arclight, Sprite Elf, IP Mascarena, and with any luck, we may even see a Murakumo. But the Baron de Fleur sure feels nice, right? The materials are a level 2 tuner, the Yummy Way, and level 8 monster. So set 2, and feels pretty good here. So starting with Sanji, Ivan also on the Mitsurugi, gonna grab the Mitsurugi prayers. Revealing there is allowed to bring out the Aramasa. Aramasa tributed from the field, so it's not banished by the Herald of the Arclight. But that'll go ahead and grab that. Tributing out, so we bring out Wosu. Goodbye, Baron de Fleur. Last activated effect, Habakiri is going to go ahead and crack into that Herald of Arclight, tributing itself. But Herald of Arclight does have an effect when sent to the graveyard, adding a ritual monster, so that gets the Murakumo there. And then Sprite Elf is going to go ahead and bring back the Cupsy Way. Oh, but Black Mamba here. Don't see that every day. We're going to go and chain the Cupsy Way. So Cupsy Way, 2 Yummies coming right up. Lollipop Yummy Way and Cookie Yummy. And then Black Mamba sending Ogdo Attic cards to the graveyard. I will never get tired of seeing the creativity that we're seeing from these duelists. That's how they got this far. But unfortunately, Mitsurugi Prayers is going to trigger Lollipop Yummy Way, tagging itself back to the extra deck. So we'll see a Cupsy Yummy and Yummy Snatchy. A few more different effects you can tack on now. Mitsurugi Prayer is going to go ahead and add that Murakumo. And then take 800 to bring back the Sanji. Whose turn is it anyway? Gosh, you wouldn't know. But for that indicator, it's actually Ivan's turn. But time for replacement of the field spell there for the Akro K. And they're going to go ahead and draw a card off the Cupsy Yummy. And now time for a Link Crow summon as well. And because we replaced the field spell, this Cookie Yummy Way is not just going to threaten what it ordinarily does to flip these cards face down. And it's also going to be able to destroy one. This is practically reducing the field to nothing. Those face down monsters aren't going to help for Link summons. They can still be tributed though. But IP Mascarena is going to be used in response to that. So let's see what we get out of here. Link summon, and it's going to be SP Little Knight. Is going to be able to banish there, unable to be destroyed by card effects, which is super important. As we ritual off 8 stars worth. And there's the Murakumo. And so a couple of fun things are going to happen here, of course. Chaining effects, Kusanagi, and then Murakumo, but also SP Little Knight is able to banish that card before anything fun happens with it. So, SP Little Knight, say goodbye to the Mitsurugi Ritual. And then Murakumo clearing everything except the SP Little Knight. And then special summoning out another monster here in the form of Cookie Yummy. But Ogdoatic Daybreak, all of the tokens. 2 tokens, and then grabbing out a Mitsurugi Ritual. Remember, you can still tribute those face-down monsters, and of course, Amino Murakumo no Mitsurugi comes back to the field. Yummy Surprise will be activated. Looks like we're going to see Lollipop Yummy come back, which means you can shuffle something else out of the deck. So no Ogdoatic monsters, shuffling them completely back. Mitsurugi Ritual will be used, and that's going to target the SP Little Knight. I think this is a great move, though, from Ivan. Let's just go ahead and challenge that. Love to try. Do you love to discard cards? You do! Goodbye, Sky Striker. Mobilize, engage. So banishing that, we are going to tribute the Wall Suit. And Futsuno Mitama no Mitsurugi hit the field here. And then using the 2 tokens to Link Summon. And it's going to be Reptile Echidna. I have never seen so much Reptile Echidna until this tournament. This is wild. I mean, known card, but incredible to actually see it used at this level of play. So, Time for Nunu the Ogdoadic Remnant to go ahead and send another Ogdoadic, still trying to get that to the grave. Ogdoadic Daybreak is banished to go ahead and return to send another Ogdoadic card. Now we'll use the Nephilim Abyss that was previously sent, special summoning itself. Similarly, let's tribute some reptiles to bring out Nunu. And then Futsuno Mitama is going to grab the Mitsurugi Great Purification and set Futsuno Mitama back to the field in attack mode. This is some powerful stuff. Narya the Ogdoadic Remnant. It shows you when you combine a great deck with another great deck with another great deck, these are the plays that you are capable of. So, time for a Link 3. It is going to be the Ragnarok Selene Snapper, able to get rid of those spells and trap cards, so just banishing some extra reptiles here. And trying to get rid of 7 Mitsurugi Prayer, still going to be able to be activated here. But Habakiri being added to the hand isn't enough. Selene Snapper destroys the cards. But more importantly, we are going to just have a card discarded, and it is the Amino Murakumo no Mitsurugi, and that's the scoop. Love to try, loves to try no further. So they surrendered. Wow, was that the last game? If it was, my goodness. Looks like our duelist may have disappeared. Looks like we've got a new spectator ID, and you can go ahead and join us if you're in the chat here. So let's go to our top 4, see who they are. Spectate. Your code's going to be 830197. Put that in the chat here. That was really good. I can see that's made an impression. So your top 8's definitely G. It's definitely Lucas. Pay no mind to Drewy, the hardest working tournament organizer in the digital Yu-Gi-Oh space. Vive la Drewy. But yeah, that was a match. Oh my goodness, that Ogdoadic. It's cool. It actually is cool to see, you know, it did make a huge splash when it originally came out. And a lot of decks are like that. They simmer. They just simmer for a while. And then finally they boil over and the true creativity shows. And sometimes it just takes a few more support cards. But it's good stuff. It's good stuff. So Ivan's sitting down. We'll find out who his opponent is shortly. Who made it to the other side of the bracket. We got 4 duelists now. So it's going to be Ivan, G, and Lucas at least. Been an exciting tournament, you know, especially considering that we're in like old format and anniversary format is coming in just a few days. Oh, 768 duelists. It's going to be a good time. All right, time to see our pairings. All 5 duelists are here. The last member to make it to the top 8, of course, is Justinian. We haven't seen any of Justinian's duels in the top cut, so I think we'll go ahead and take a peek there. Very curious to see Lucas and G. We will technically be repeating Ivan. By the way, that Year of the Snake portrait frame, you can't see it because I'm in the way, so let me back on down. Well earned. Well earned. That's Suffering Sekatash. That is a snake duelist. And a reference, by the by. Just good stuff. Wow. All right. Looks like we're just waiting for our last duelist to sit down. It's a big decision, right? Maybe the duelists are watching the stream be like, snakes! What do I do? Tribe infecting virus? Teasing. Just some old school references for the old heads in the room. But saddle on up. If you're watching this on the VOD, that right key will fast forward you straight to the action. But for us, this was our present. And what a present it was. Feels like a gift, just getting to see great gameplay. That's what I live for, is cool duels. I don't need food, I don't need water, I don't need sleep, I don't need air. I need to see people dueling, and if I could not see, I need to hear people dueling, and if I could not hear or see, I need to learn Braille so I could read about people dueling, and if not, we'll figure it out from there. I'm sure somebody out there is psychic and could just beam the duels directly into my head. But, woo, what a lineup, what a lineup. And I love the caliber of duels. We saw this at every single one. You know, you always wonder, somebody goes to Worlds and do they become too good to enter just a simple online tournament with 512 players? No, that's obviously not the case there with G sporting that World Championship icon. Well, he's ready. Where's Ivan's opponent? I want to see it. I mean, we haven't got to see Justinian's gameplay. I'll give him a little bit of time here before we jump off the bus, but Snakes. Snakes. Snake. Now I sound like another Konami game. You know, friends, we wanted to see Ivan, but I think we're going to go check out Lucas versus G here because there may be a delay on the other side and we don't know how long that'll take. We'll get to see one of those two duelists. We did get to recently see Ivan, so if Justinian advances, we know what he beat. But let's take a look here and see where Rocket. G decided to go first. Interesting. All right, so 7th Ascension to 7 Tachyon. And 7 Tachyon revealing the Masquerade, but Dominus Purge shutting that down. Seeing enough Ryzeal to know I do not want that card to resolve. So the beautiful flowers. And it's set, pass. A T set in 2026. Well, I guess they're spaced apart a little bit for that, but you get the joke. Normal summoning the Ghost Dawn Haunted Mansion Salamander at Almirage. Great way to get your Yummy Engine online off of a single card in your hand. We're live now. I'm glad we tuned into this one. It's getting weird. Come see Yummy on the field. But we're not going to activate anything. So now it's time for a Linkro summon. You know, a tuner and a non-tuner monster for Cupsy Yummy Way. Time to add 2 and discard 1. As well as target a card that your opponent controls and destroy it because of Acro K. Oh, but it's Crossout Designator. Maybe using that to banish a card you don't want to see. Or are we in a mirror match after all? So the Designator says what? Ame no Habakiri no Mitsurugi. So revealing that he's on Mitsurugi, but trying to slow down if it's Yummy Mitsurugi. So Acro K will decimate that, and then the Cupsy Yummy Way. See what Lucas ends up adding from the deck to the hand. Still think Crossout Designator is a great card. Obviously, its power is different than it's at 1, and there are some cards that are at 1 that you really want to use it on. Imagine, well, when we get our new list in Master Duel, maybe you want to banish your 1 Max C. You did banish your 1 Max C, though, so interesting interactions with it in the year 2026 of our Raw. But Marshmallow Yummy going to special summon itself to the field. And Gravity Controller maybe coming our way. Actually, just going to do Yummy Statue. Don't need to think that hard. So Yummy Statue effect. It's going to go and place a different field spell this time. We had our Acro K. Let's get a little mignon. Très petit Yummy Amusement. All right, so Yummy Amusement, mignon. Going to go ahead and target the Cupsy Yummy. Bring it back. And it was summoned this time, so you get to add. But Ash Blossom going to try to slow that down. G doing whatever he could do to just hold back the onslaught, right? Don't get the Habakiri. Please don't search any additional cards. Play with what you have. Be happy with what you have. Looks like we're going to Synchro again. And this time these monsters shall be Lollipop Yummy Way. So grabbing 2 out of the graveyard here. I mean, other than a Nibiru, the Primal Being in the hand, I'm not sure what G could have to slow things down even further. And play did not pass back over. We're well into 5 summons at this point. Well into multiple summons. And just go to the battle phase. And oh, there's the scoop. Doesn't want his opponent to know what deck he was playing, other than the fact that it was Mitsurugi. Very curious to know what it was that was set. Interesting. Could be a Kusanagi. We do get a chance to look over here. Can we jump back and forth? Yeah, we could jump back and forth. Let's see what Justinian has. This is our last opportunity to see. Apologies for those watching the VOD. We are kind of going back and forth, but we may not get to see Justinian again otherwise. So let us see. Ivan going first here. Love that he's got the Kage Tokage on the field. It's the mate, but it's unfortunately behind me. All right, but Night Sword Serpent and an Ogdoatic Remnant combined need to make King of the Feral Imps. I mean, this man, this duelist, Ivan, is he's not the goat, he's the snake. Now I just have to make an anagram that makes that sound cool. But we do get to see Saji tributed off, so there's Mitsurugi Prayers from the deck to the hand. Mitsurugi Prayer is going to go ahead and tribute the Habakiri off, and Bestial Druid's Worm banishing it. So changing its status. You're not tributed, you're banished. And both effects are being activated here, so we'll go ahead and special summon up the Aramasa. Aramasa grabbing one more card, so here's Murakuma. And all the snakes! Full-on snake rain. So let's start with Kyrus, the Ogdoadic Light. And if it's in your graveyard, you get to tribute a monster, and you know what snakes love being tributed. Don't worry, it's a legendary deck if I do say so myself. But yeah, opponent can special summon a monster from their graveyard but negate its effects. If they want to, they could use a Ghost Spell. So it's very like, you don't have a monster in the graveyard, so it's not a big deal. You could Ghost Spell it. Ooh, that's hard though. And what is Justinian on? I mean, that kind of telegraphs Malice with the Bestial Druid's Worm. Bestial Malice still good. Obviously, March Hare kind of replacing some of the utility of the Bestial cards, but Bestial Druid's Worm still does a lot. Wow, though. Whatever this is, it's a tough decision for Justinian. Looks like he's going to let it go, though. So, Kyrus is going to go ahead and be summoned, and then target a level 4 lower Ogdoadic in the graveyard. We're almost getting full combo here. And that will be special summon in defense mode. Now, we got 2 level 4s, actually multiple level 4s. But you also got that level 8 there in case you want to make a Photon Lord or something else cool. Grabbing the Ogdoadic Daybreak, contribute a reptile monster to get more tokens, but instead, Ixie summon. Build the overlay network. 2 reptiles go in. Greatest reptile of all time comes out. The king of the feral imps. Detaching to add here. You tried to stop it, but actually grabbing the Wolsu this time. Now, do we force the Druid's Worm? That'd be interesting, but it looks like we're going to instead make many, many, many tokens. 2 levels equals 1 token, and 8 divided by 2 is what class? Is it 2? No. Is it 3? No, but you're close. It's 4 tokens. So 4 tokens, let's see what we get off of this. Linking off 1 down arrow, it's going to be Link Spider. Great to swap into an effect monster. As common since we got the Link Strike starter deck. But let's go ahead and then make Haggard Lizardos, who is a reptile. You don't usually see it used for its correct purpose here. Get to draw. Now a Triple Tactics Thrust. Wow. Do you get the maybe Triple Tactics Talent and show hand? They did get talent. Man, Ivan is definitely a reptile lord. Let's see what we got. It is Malice. And get rid of the Dogmatica Impulse there. Excuse me, what I say, Dominus Impulse. That's the wrong theme that doesn't like special summons. What a field. Okay, so still mid-combo. You know you're safe. You know what your opponent's on. They don't have much. You're just staring down that Druid's Worm. You're on turn 1. You fought your way this far into the top 4. Just undefeated snakes. 2 more tokens. This time we're going to get IP Masquerena. Could just make an access code talker at this point, but looks like we're going to do a Link 3 instead. So, Haggard Lizardos. And the king becomes Summon Sorceress. Special summoning Nunu to their field. That's it. This is not what I woke up today thinking was going to happen. And getting Lamia. Oh, the Lamia. Wow, gosh. Just the king of the feral imps. This is some really cool stuff. I need to watch more Ivan combos. That's what I'm seeing. As Reptile Echidna comes out, reducing the Druid's Worm to 0 attack. And then grabs the Habakiri anyway. I mean, I feel this confident on Psychics. I've never seen anybody this into reptiles. This is really like cool to see like just this. So trimming the stuff off for Wolsu. And still gonna get the Habakiri effect here. So out from the deck to the hand, the glorious Mitsurugi Ritual. Good taste, great combos. Is this our winner? Man, and like saying it, like here's the Mitsurugi Ritual right there, so you can see Druid's Worm. I'm coming for you. Oh, to make the Murakumo from the hand, right? To destroy the Druid's Worm, to be like, if you want to get rid of one monster, you have to discard a card, right? And there's the Murakumo. Man, I like the cut of this Duelist Gym. But Justinian still maybe having a chance here. It's only turn 1, but basically getting locked out. Mitsurugi Ritual once again. So tributing the Wolsu. This is just so wild. And the Futsuno Matama no Mitsurugi hits the field, which means you got plenty of level 8s. You can also tribute the 2 monsters to special summon the card. What? Now they're both gonna special summon. That's just jaw-dropping, just jaw-dropping. It's really good. It's really good play. You can tell this person's put a lot of time into it. And what's making this deck obviously work is that it just keeps going. It reminds me of decks like 60-card, you know, graveyard decks, or things like Punk Horus, where your opponent stops a few things and they think they've got you. But man, do you just show up in the duel. Once you've broken through the choke point, there is no stopping you. And I see exactly how Ryan has gotten this far. You got Druid's Worm? Not even good at Druid's Worm. Oh, there we go. Chain links, they are a thing. Turn player priority. And so here comes the Mitsurugi special. Discard a card if you want to get rid of that. This is going to be so expensive. We know you have so few cards in hand. Can you afford it? Or do you let it go? Negate it, lets it go. So the Ogdoadic King trying to get it done. So brings back the Habakiri. Now we're going to normal summon Black Mamba. No monster to target on the opposing side of the field. Plenty of links though, so it could be up to link 3. And it's going to be the Gorgon of Zilithonia! What is this duel? Sorry to crack your ears on the microphone, but oh my goodness. And now Ragnarika Chain foils. Oh my goodness. So if your opponent activates a monster effect, you can activate this effect. Neither player can activate the effects of monsters in the hand this turn. All they got to do is trigger it once. And then... Wow. Okay, of course, trying to make the most expensive Allure of Dark. This is really insane. If you've like just been watching this all the time, what a treat. But is going to go ahead and discard. Malice Trap cards don't feel as good when we don't have any Malice monsters. But speaking of Malice monsters, we did get to banish a Dark monster. But what do you do? Justinian, obviously a fine duelist to get this far in the tournament. And yeah, to a degree, I've been glazing some snakes. But only because we just haven't seen it before. This is not every day that this happens. So Justinian having to think just a little bit here. Looks like we're going to go for Signet Mining. bet the farm, and they're still dealing with the IP Masquerena. That could lead to an SP Little Knight and just banish the Malice P Dormouse. I know that's weird. Going somewhere with this, Your Honor, I promise. But you got to be careful, right? So they're going to go ahead and banish. What can be done here? Do you want to negate? We do have the Great Purification. Tributing the Futsu no Matama? No, going for the Murakumo this time. Makes sense. So Great Purification. Shaking our Snake Sticks. That'll negate and destroy the Dormouse. Has Justinian had enough? Well, the Amino Murakumo no Mitsurugi's coming back here. And the opponent did activate a monster effect, so neither player can activate any effects in the hand now. That means if for some reason like a Malice P March Hare shows up later in this turn, not gonna happen. Just incredible. Shows you there's more Yu-Gi-Oh! Out there to be won. Especially when you got a room full of people cheering on a Mitsurugi duelist. This is how you get the crowd on your side. Battle phase, no evenly matched this turn. Didn't force out an IP Masquerena either, so just going straight to end phase. And that's the end of the turn. Enough attack points to close this duel out just on these terms. And that'll be the scoop. Justinian surrenders. Wow. Well, take a look back into G versus Lucas, although I do want to check the in-room replays just to see. So Lucas 1-1, G 1-1. So they are on their final match. Let's go ahead and see what's going on in their game 3 and who may play the Lord of the Snakes if things continue to go Ivan's way. Just what? Where are the answers? Are they in the heart of dueling? Because that's what I'm seeing here. All right, Lucas elected to go first. This is their final game. One duelist advances to the finals. The other does not. So Labyrinth here, actually, grabbing the Shandrag Lear and then discarding the Arius of the Labyrinth Butler to set big welcome Labyrinth. Then using Shandrag Lear and discarding, ooh, nice transaction rollback there. And we're going to go ahead and set welcome Labyrinth as well. So starting out with big welcome Labyrinth. Usually you run 3, but somewhere out there there's some duelists running 2. Or else it went to be at 2.96. Almost 3. Just, I clipped the corners, trying to be Arcanum. Jokes aside, let's go ahead and special summon the Labyrinth Bunch. Usually you see the lady. But maybe they want to go for Lovely. They do have the potential to get rid of some cards in the hand here. It's going to be up to Lucas. He's in the driver's seat. Dual Disc is strapped to his arm, not mine. All right, we are going to go let it resolve. So who we special summoning here? Is it a Crisis of Choices? We are going for the Lovely. So bouncing back a card, that means that Lovely's effect is going to activate. Trying to hand loop just a little bit, destroying a card there. And then getting back the Shandrag Lear. We do let it resolve. Shandrag Lear back to the hand. And what are we destroying? It's going to give a little bit of information too. It was a Pot of Extravagance. What does that mean? Did both of these duelists just like double back and they're like, I'm going to play control. That's what I'm going to do here. Extrav. Extrav, read all about it? Interesting. I mean, we're still in top 4. The Labyrinth could make it to the finals. This is the last game for these two duelists. As they wait to see who makes it alive between Ivan and Justinian. So set 3 and pass. I'm glad we tuned into this. All right, well, we're having to face 5 cards, having successfully destroyed the Pot of Extravagance there. Use Welcome Labyrinth. Gotta be Lady. Let's see if we get a Knight or not. Get that transaction rollback at the ready, too. That's pretty scary. It's a honestly good Labyrinth setup. It is Lady Labyrinth. Alternate art, by the way. Lone survivor of the Silver Castle there. And then activating Big Welcome Labyrinth. Going to be stopped with a Dominus Impulse, but you activate a trap card. So Lady Labyrinth of the Silver Castle can set another trap. G forcefully saying no, but inadvertently saying yes. And now that there's a trap in the opponent's graveyard, well, it means that later transaction rollbacks will be live, although the transaction rollback in the graveyard a little bit more interested in Lucas's own graveyard. And it does mean that maybe some of these effects will go off later anyway. Half-life points is steep, but man, when you gotta get it done, you gotta get it done. Trap Trick being set gives you some options there. But Impulse gonna stop that for now. Transaction rollback is gonna vanish. And so just gonna try again here. I said I wanted to welcome you. Not fair welcome, not big welcome, just welcome. So Ariana appearing. Oh, it actually was the other one, my bad. So that brings the Lady Labyrinth of the Silver Castle back to the hand, who can chain her effect to be back on the field anyway, but also lovely Labyrinth of the Silver Castle saw a card leave the field by a trap effect. So destroying another card in the hand. Of course, Ariana, the Labyrinth Serpent, able to go ahead and add a Labyrinth card from the deck to the hand. Maybe another copy of Area seems good. Was not expecting this. Like, the duelists really are like, surprise, I've got a completely new strategy. Oh, I love it when they switch it up in the finals. Something unique to these Master Duel Cups. And we just saw Lamia destroyed. Dimensional Barrier. Call Ritual. Just stop it. We're not doing this anymore. Finally, Kuklok. Gonna go ahead and discard to get one set that is activatable this turn. Main phase 1, what do you got that isn't that? Well, Sanji is going to come out. Gets to add a spell. Won't be able to ritual summon with it, though. I guess you grab the Mitsurugi Prayers. And you do, as one does. So Mitsurugi Prayers. Gonna go and be activated here, tributing off an Aramasa from the hand. I guess trying to make it exceed 7 here. I mean, you only got what you got. Oh, getting the Wosu. Wosu actually very helpful here. Letting you tribute. But special summoning after taking the 800 damage. Get Kusanagi back. And activating the effect of Aramasa as well. Trying to do their best. Mitsurugi without ritual summoning. Well, let's find out. How does that work? Kind of an urgent ritual moment, right? If only. There's no Femina for Mitsurugi. They can't just be like, yeah, you know what, I feel like ritual summoning now. At least not commonly played in these deck lists. Not that we've seen from G. The 2 level 4 monsters are on the field. The overlay network is still accessible. Dimensional Barrier only calling Ritual. Doesn't happen often, but when it does, man, it's good stuff. Good to see spectators here in-game, by the way. Might be all he has access to is just setting up the next turn. We know he's got a Habakiri in hand. But my goodness. And this is old gameplay, right? I mean, this is still really, really good stuff. Future Master Duel looking bright, and I can't wait to see what these duelists do next weekend for next cup, because you know we're going to have a completely new set. Mind blown. The anniversary will be here before we know it. Six hours into the tournament so far. Neither duelist wants to give an inch. G using every second on the clock available to them. are going to Link Summon, it seems. And looks like it's going to be Dark the Dark Charmer. Certainly helpful in a wide range of situations, but the trap trick that was set off of the Lady Labyrinth can be activated because of the Coup Clock. So perhaps we're going to see something powerful here. Yeah, it's a destructive Dharma Karma Cannon. Go ahead and flip these cards down before the opponent even gets a chance. So what goes down must come up. As monsters flip face down, the opponent is forced to get rid of their Link monster. That's difficult. Remember, this is winner goes up, loser does not advance, but get some great prizes. Again, each one of these duelists is eligible for Top Gun prizing. Do get the Wolsu. Wolsu does help, tributing the Habakiri, allowing for a single surge. Both duelists locked in. I know I'm focused on just this duel and nothing else. Where else would you want to be, chat, than seeing some of the greatest duelists in Match Duels? 4 duelists rising up out of 512. That means 508. We salute you. We'll see you next tournament. Along with the total, gosh, 768 duels is going to be wild. Looks like Wolsu going in for the attack here. 1900, just low enough that 2000 doesn't feel bad. So honestly, G doing a really decent job of disrupting this field. Tearing his opponent apart piece by piece, but so many pieces of the Labyrinth engine have already been installed, and no rituals here. I don't know if that set card's going to be enough. We know the Great Purification's down there somewhere, and a level 5 or higher Reptile does exist. But now that it's safe, the Lady Labyrinth of the Silver Castle is going to jump out. And Chandraglier for your trouble, setting one last card. So let's see how Lucas prepares to start their turn. Setting any trap from the deck. It's going to be big welcome Labyrinth. And now, going to go ahead and add back the Coup Clock. So wild, so wild. So Coup Clock's back. Certainly could be helpful here. Not completely in either duelist's favor, right? Obviously, Lucas has lower life points, but did a great job with that dimensional barrier, just holding things off. G did a great job showing up to the duel without his signature portion of the strategy, right? And the Woso going back to the hand, certainly important, and gives way to a lot of different card effects here, but that Woso could show back up and live to tell the tale. That means G could fight back by tributing a monster off and getting some other effects too. So Lucas's turn to try to win, at least control things here. Coup Clock, gonna go ahead and discard again here. Means that set trap is up for game. And let's see if it enters the fray here. It is. So Welcome Labyrinth immediately activated after the Coup Clock's effect. Turning the clock forward, letting you activate those traps a little sooner than you were supposed to. So let's special summon a Labyrinth monster, and maybe we're Fiend locked. But in a Fiend deck, you don't usually mind. But before that happens, Mitsurugi Prayer is going to be activated here. Does have the Wosu in hand, might as well tribute it. Oh, but the effect is going to trigger Arius the Labyrinth Butler. Not the scariest card, but maybe able to set or special summon. And that could help have Lucas close this out against G. G hanging on for dear life. So gonna go ahead and grab the Habakiri. Special summon back to Kusanagi. Welcome Labyrinth finally resolving. It's a lot of work. These duelists are putting the clicks in today. Ariana the Labyrinth Servant now appearing on the field, so adding a Labyrinth card from the deck to the hand. Could be a trap card, which you could set with Arius. Activate a little sooner than you expected. The hard part is being G. You got one button you can push. Because you know Habakiri's in hand, Kusanagi's on the field. Did you forget was face down? Well, we'll remind you soon enough because it's the only card that G could activate. spoiler alert, might be that great purification still hanging out there. Oh, but is it great? We're going to add the chain links back. Kusanagi was summoned in the most recent chain, so during this new and open game states chain. Chain link 1 and chain link 2 is going to be to get the Wosu back. The time to resolve. Wosu to the hand. And then Ariana grabbing the Lady Labyrinth for the Silver Castle. Classic artwork. Still good. Still does the same thing. All right. Time for a Synchro summon. It's going to be Chaos Angel here. A 6 and a 4, don't lie. And so banishing a card, or at least attempting to. That's going to be 6,500 right there. Battle phase. 3,000, yeah, that's going to be it. Unaffected by those activated effects, it's good. Wow, okay. A topsy-turvy duel, kind of confusing at times. But it looks like Lucas advances. And on the flip side, take a look at our in-room replays. Ivan awaits. Labyrinth versus Ogdoadic Mixarugi. Only time will tell, but get hype. We made it to the finals in record time, by the way. 9 rounds of Swiss and our top 8. 6 hours and 12 minutes. That's a brisk tournament. You still got your whole life ahead of you. But Ivan, the king of the feral imps incarnate, sitting down. And from the delay here, I think Lucas has to figure out what cards he's going to play. Is Labyrinth enough? It's good. It's actually very good. But may want to go for something classic. You get a lot of options here as you see Duelist able to flex how many different strategies they have in their arsenal. And just, I love that Ivan's like, I got one deck. One deck. I got one motif. That's all I need to do. Don't be suspicious. Just stakes. Friendly neighborhood stakes. But we did make it to the finals. Cannot believe it. Finals are here. 512 duels. It's just insane when you think about it, right? How many duelist stories do we not get to tell today? Well, we'll just have to watch more replays next time. 768. They're going to do 2 days for the next tournament. But that's them. Right now, we're all just waiting. 12 spectators currently here. I love this cup. I just love, like, the Challenger Cups, the Deckmaster Cup, anything that lets duelists duel from the comfort of where they're at, right? Where you can just kick back, relax, but like, yeah, I can win some prizes. Click, 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 click. And then some for some of these decks, my goodness. Cards per minute, we need to count that. Or at least cards per turn. Because other than, like, that grass looks greener, this has been some of the most dueling I've seen in a duel in a while. Because, oh. Drake and Tail mirror matches were fun too, though. I'm curious to know if either of these duelists might switch back into that. Something safe, something reliable. Maybe Malice is showing up here, obviously. But this Snake, I mean, obviously, like, the banishment hurts graveyard-based decks, and there is a certain amount of graveyardness going on with the Ogdoadic side of the Ogdoadic Mitsurugi deck. But we also know Mitsurugi does not care about being banished. They will play the Dimensional Fissure, excuse me. Almost here. They're still here, right? Checking the chat, making sure there's nothing crazy going on. Nope. Looks like we're good. Just incredible stuff. And by the way, GG for everybody that we got to see duel today. You know, that's all we really want. We just want to see people be good at this game and maybe show off a little when they do so. But man, Today was some showing off. Today was some showing off. So at some point, Lucas has got to sit down. I guess he's got to be overthinking it. Not overthinking it. Adequately amount thinking it. To be like, okay. I know what's going on with this duelist. What do I do? What can beat a snake? A weasel, right? Ah, for hire. I'm teasing. Just stalling for time as we wait for our players to sit down here. One's ready. But my goodness. You just love to see it, right? There's a lot of duelists that, if they've been around for a long period of time, maybe they like a certain portion of the game. But if you're just here for whatever it is you're here to see, it's undeniable that whatever's going on in the format, you know these duelists are doing creative things, trying something different, showcasing strategies that like are just deck lists that you see pictures of at the end of an event. But speaking of the end of an event, duelists, we rated round after round, 9 rounds of Swiss, top 8, top 4. But give a wholehearted welcome, because duelists of all ages, in a moment here, I get to click spectate, and it is time to duel. What did these duelists show up to the first of a 2 out of 3 game set? Well, let's find out. And it looks like some things haven't changed. All right. Draw phase, standby phase, main phase is good. Ivan showing stakes, revealing Mitsurugi and Max C coming down immediately. With nothing to say about it, Ivan is about to cause Lucas to draw some cards. We still don't know what he's actually playing. He's rocking Galaxy Eye sleeves. Could be Light Dragon Xyz monsters. We'll see in a moment. Saji is tributed, so Saji will go ahead and add the Mitsurugi prayers from the deck to the hand. Be a Joel Lockbird. Could be. Doesn't want to slow things down. How about Mitsurugi prayers? Tributing for both. And gonna take the 800, yep. Just doing the take 800. Now that's interesting. Sort of segmenting out the plays here. Didn't special summon. Doesn't want to. Sort of testing the waters. What do you have? What could you do? Very smart play here. Something's going on. I think it's a Droll and Lockbird. But I think Lucas is afraid to activate it because he doesn't want to slow things down for his own recently activated Max C. So now it's time to Ritual Summon a Reptile. Was it worth it? Well, it might be momentarily. Sending 2 monsters to the graveyard. Ritual Summon from the hand here. Aramasa and Kusanagi combined. Offered up to the Great Snake Lord, Ame no Murokuma no Mitsurugi. Caused a draw here. Kusanagi and Aramasa. Gonna try to add. You could do a Joel and Lockbird now. Maybe you got enough draws, but decided not to. If it's even a thing, I'm just guessing into the void here. But Futsuno Matama no Mitsurugi added from the deck to the hand. And grabbing Mitsurugi prayers from the graveyard to the hand. Just getting another opportunity. Chooses to do nothing. Maybe that says Draco Tailfire Mina instead. Lucas at 6 cards. Maxi already paid for itself. But now it is time for some automatic combos. Zoa gonna go ahead and set a card to the graveyard to add that Zoa back to the hand. And it might just be time to flop it right out. Yeah, Zoa hits the field, so its other effect activates. Ooh, but actually, it's Aaron the Automatic King here. So, tributing 2. The king is back. Big ol' snake friend. Does cause a single summon, or excuse me, a single draw. But for Murakumo, you know, that might be worth it. You can basically like even out the mixture, like the opponent draws, then you search, then they draw, then you search, and by the end of it, you're hoping to be up here. So gets rid of a rival Mitsurugi card, gives you a little bit of indication what Lucas is on. So it's a snake duel. Ivan's kind of the master of snakes. Let's see what the King of Feral Imps has to say. Just might as well try. Sets a card though. Are we passing? Setting another card. Set to on, by the way. I mean, is Draco Tail Mitsurugi a thing? Let's find out maybe what that card is as we end the main phase, though. Never get to see what that quick effect was. Could be a Molcharmi that they were sitting on. A lot of different things you could do. We'll say Molcharmi Meow's honestly really good in this matchup. But nobody's thinking, Molcharmi Meows, that's what I need. But Lamia being normal summoned here. Does Ivan allow the adding of a single snake? Looks like he does. Habakiri appears in the hand. Any response here? Ivan gets an opportunity to play. Decides to go ahead and send a random card, just like before. 1 out of 7 doesn't lie. Ooh, got rid of the Mitsurugi Prayers, actually. Or excuse me, Ritual. Mitsurugi Ritual. Abe no Habakiri no Mitsurugi gonna activate its effects. No response. Ivan playing with a tempered down field. Didn't want to play completely into max C here. So we see the Saji go up and get tributed. If you're just joining us, what a finals this is. This is just game 1, though. Still best 2 out of 3. Both on stakes, but one of these stakes does not look like the other. Ivan with a very interesting deck list. But adding a lighter dark reptile, it's going to be Nephilabyss, the Ogdoadic Overlord. What's bigger than a king? Apparently an Overlord. Lucas going to go ahead and use the Mitsurugi Ritual. And it's going to be Ritual Summoning from the hand here. Anything you can do about that? I mean, you got 3 cards face down. One of them must do something. Maybe some snake stuff, right? Just having a little fun again. Really great reptile play, including Reptilanes and Ragnarayaka cards. We're also going to see great Purification. The king has done his job. You can rest now, Aaron. But Mitsurugi Prayer's getting chained. I love the answer. I've got this, putting it right in the same column. Slamming it down for Chain Link 3. Ivan has no response. So, time to see the effects of Mitsurugi Prayers. Both effects, time to add, take, and special summon. You ain't taking 800 just for the fun of it. So, grabs the Kusanagi from the deck, takes the 800 life points. Let's see where the special summon's coming from. And it's Kusanagi themselves. Great Purification going to negate, get rid of that, but the Ritual can come back as fast as the Kusanagi can resolve. And Habakiri able to search out another card as well. Play back over to Ivan. We've seen the Sultan of Snakes do some amazing things, but it does seem like he's on his back leg, if snakes have any legs. So now it's up to Lucas. Still resolving card effects, of course. But 2 level 4s on the field feels pretty good. Maybe going into Ryzeal. Maybe committed to the snake line. Maybe getting his own King of the Feral Imps. Saw enough of the combo video that's been put on by Ivan. Maybe wants to be a suitor to the snake throne. So Futsuno Mitama no Mitsurugi being added. Lucas with an eye on recurring even more resources, really making this feel big. There's a version of this where a battle phase away from game, but we're not a game away from this ending. Again, this is just game 1. Our finals here. So nothing doing for the moment. Lucas has a bunch of different directions you could go. Certainly you don't want to get hit with the Beer of the Primal Being, but you don't care if all your reptiles are tributed. Haven't seen a ritual yet. Could be some sort of trap that stops additional special summoning. Maybe it's nothing. Maybe it's just a Mitsurugi Prayers and just a blank card. Oh, but I'm on pins and needles as Lucas takes his time. Calm, collected. Figure out what's going to be next. Suspense is killing me, but it looks like it's over as we build the overlay network. 2 4s go in. And Tornado Dragon coming out here. Wants to know what's face down before doing anything. Once per turn, quick effect. Let's detach. Left to right, left to right. And will it be the right answer? Well, it is the right card. It's going to be a Chained Mitsurugi Prayers. About to apply both effects in sequence. Ivan very, very methodical now. For such a fast-moving combo duelist, this duel is really slowed down. Both players definitely respecting each other. So taking 800, special summoning a Mitsurugi card. Can't attack directly. Not an issue right now. But Murakumo back on the field. Well, Mitsurugi Ritual. I love the question. I'm activating this. Do you want to negate this? I do want to negate this. It's non-verbal communication. These duelists cannot talk to each other. They're not on a voice chat headset. They're not badgering each other like characters from the anime. But at this level of play, you know what the communication is. You know the question. So let's see what the answer is. Discarding that extra for Wallows. Tributing the Futsuno Mitama no Mitsurugi. And ritual summoning. Your own Murakumo. Lucas still with an eye to win this turn. Currently sporting 5,300 points of damage on the field. But there's the Magatama. We talked about it earlier. Who do we tribute? Might as well get rid of the blank Murakumo for the moment. And try to destroy them back. Now activates. Do you discard? You want to live? Maybe you do. So, goodbye to the Overlord there. No more Ogdo Addicts for the moment. It makes sense. You don't need them where you're going. You just need to get to the next turn. 2,100 points now on field. 6,400. Ivan's ceiling of life points. Nobody running Ghost Sister and Spooky Dogwood right now. Great card, by the way, though. Definitely gives you a little bit more time, but doesn't necessarily do anything else, right? You don't miss your life points until you're out of them. Or unless you're like Exo Sister or Punk, and you pay yourself until you reach into that wallet and you're like, 600, oh no, 800, also gone. So Mitsurugi Prayers, search out the deck there. And Murakumo coming back again. After we grab the Mitsurugi Prayers. Big enough to shield itself. So Ivan's life points maybe not as much of a threat here. And also able to get rid of the Tornado Dragon. So all of a sudden Ivan feels pretty good there. That set card, 2 set cards. That's a Murakumo negate away and maybe more. So 7,200, just got to put 4,000 on the board and successfully attack. I'll still be game 1 of our finals then. Main phase 1's good. No Max C on draw phase. Let's see what we end up having on Lucas's field. There's 2 face downs. Are they anything? We activate Mitsurugi Prayers. Gonna go tribute the Futsuno Mitama for both effects here. Well, one of the cards live. Could be one of the ones from the hand, but no response. let's do both effects in sequence. The ad from the deck is going to be Aramasa. And then taking that 800. And the offering is made to... It's going to be a Kusanagi to grab another card. Of course, the Futsunomitama was in the hand, so it's not going to special summon itself back, but you do get to search. And getting back the Magatama, destruction so important. Can't just be tributing your opponent's cards all day. Oh, but Troll and Lockford. Powerful. I knew it was in there somewhere. But you can negate it. Are you going to discard a card to keep that? Let's see what Lucas does. Big decision. Haven't let it resolve yet. All right, we're going for resolution. Do you discard for Joel and Lockbird? Or is the card in your hand too important? It's not. Aramasa discarded. Joel and Lockbird does resolve. Kusanagi able to grab a card. No search from the Futsunomitama, so no special summon. Well, it wasn't special summoned properly anyway. But let's see what that Ogdoadic boost really does. Monster was sent from the hand or deck to the graveyard, so you get to special summon the card. Locked into reptiles, I think that's just fine. Big monster on board. Still a little shy of game, only need to do 200 more. Because that'll be 54, 64, 7,000. You would prevent your opponent from using their Mitsurugi prayers. Let's see if we go in. Gagaga Cowboy's not a reptile. And we are locked into reptiles. Does get to special summon one additional reptile. This is it. Perhaps the end of our game one, depending on what Lucas has. Meanwhile, Gaia, the Dragon Champion, viciously flapping its wings for Lucas. Adjusting his helm. At the ready, but may not get a chance to stab. Out on the Ogdoadic King, supporting his Overlord. This could just be battle phase. Oh, but Link 3 instead. Ragnarika to destroy the spells and traps guaranteed. It is Selene Snapper. Going the safe route here. Doesn't want to crash into Mirror Force. That'd be silly. But it looks like we're going to see a Mitsurugi Prayers instead. So taking the 800. Trying to special summon. It's going to be a Murakumo. And it attempts to fight back. All right. Okay, so Triple Tactics talent? No way. Taking control of the rival Murakumo, who of course can activate its effect, but Mitsurugi Great Purification says, we ain't doing that here. Now we really got a really simplified game state when you look at it. Few cards remain. But Chain Link 1 is going to be the Boundless Ogdoadic Zohan. Swapping out for Zohan. Normal summon in the Zohan. And further Ogdoadic remnants remain, so Nunu is going to go and special summon itself out. Yeah, banish it when it leaves the field, but something tells me we're getting into Xyz territory. But Aaron's still available. You can still just tribute 2 monsters. That's just what it does. Wow, okay. Battle phase, 2,500. The opponent on almost nothing. Pins and needles, your opponent has no cards. You've got to pass, play, back to them. You set a card, end turn. What do they draw? Don't know. This is just game 1, friends. Just game 1. Do they have anything? One card. This is that heart of the cards moment. Is your deck designed that any one card you draw in an emergency situation gets you out? Or did you dare to play cards that only work with other cards, as pretty much every duelist does? Pass turn, back to Ivan. Doesn't have to do much, just needs 1400 attack. A normal summon would do it, if he has a normal summon. So we'll use Zoha, discarding away the Ogdoadic Daybreak. And by the light of day, a 1500 attacker appears. Normal summon Zoha. Battle phase. 15. 2500 coming your way. What did we just watch, chat? What? That was game 1. They got to do that again, and maybe again. Ivan just swimming through this duel, slithering around, just unbothered and in his lane. Not worried about a rival Mitsurugi deck. That means that Lucas really has to think. We've seen Lucas switch things up before. Wow. There's only 3 room members left. Just Drewy, Lucas, and Ivan. And of course, how did we get here? Well, you saw these duelists rise to the top, but Ivan's taking that first game. Now we wait. Not even leaving the town. I ain't gonna change nothing. Snakes and snake services. You just love to see it. If there was, you know, we actually did have this last week when we did the Speed Duel Deckmaster Cup on Sunday. There was a Weevil Underwood on Beat Trooper and a Weevil Underwood on Trap Tricks. And it was the same level of hype. You're like, oh my goodness, he's the chosen one. And it's cool when you get character specialists in games. They're great. And the closest we have to character specialists in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game, because there's so much deck diversity, right? You only get to pick 40 to 60 cards, is just going all in on something that no one else is playing in the tournament. And I'm sorry if there was like, remember the 512 duelists in the tournament? We got to see a handful of them throughout 9 rounds of Swiss and our top cut. Maybe there was like 400 Ogdoadic duelists, and that just went right over my head and I missed it. But Ivan is the one who got this far. So, win, lose, or draw, he definitely deserves a round of applause. I'm clapping. Don't feel awkward. You can clap in your house. Doesn't matter if you're watching this on a VOD later. It's just your hands, and you just do this. And you can do it this way. You can do it that way. You can like high five yourself multiple times. Because that's good stuff. That's for those about to duel. We salute you. But what is our next duel going to be? Ivan. Just waiting. Must be nice, just sitting in your throne. You ain't gonna leave that top spot. Wow. Well, now I've seen everything. Although we did see some Adamantipator gameplay with some rocks last week. I wonder what other weird decks we need to see in that. Well, I guess we need to see what's in the anniversary content. February 5th. It'll be here soon. I'm excited. I'm genuinely excited. I'm genuinely excited. Why? Because Dark Magician is the icon. And Dark Magician is an icon. He's an ever-faithful companion. And it'll be nice to see more Dark Magician stuff. Granted, Lucas is back, though. So, forget the future. Practice being present. And loading up the mouse, just getting ready to press the Watch Cool Duels button. Only button I'm interested in pressing. Spectate. Here we go. From the beginning, friends. Will Ivan continue to dominate? Make it a rain snakes? Or will we get a surprise from Lucas? Or will he just double down and just play some great Yu-Gi-Oh! Lucas is going first. Let's see what we get. Still rocking the same sleeves. Same feel. Same mate. Maybe no changes here. Live gameplay. Don't let your eyes deceive you. Just big think. Starting off with Yummy. So maybe Yummy Mitsurugi this time. Cookie Yummy hitting the field. Immediately linked off. Yummy Snatchy is here. And Curse the Dragon is here to wail about it. Yummy Mignon gonna go ahead and bring back the Cookie Yummy. So great start, obviously. You know, let's really think about what's going on here. The snakes obviously enjoy the graveyard. So if Lucas is able to get out something like Herald of the Arc Light, actually could stymie a little bit of the plays. Obviously the Mitsurugi doesn't care. But the Aquatic seems like it definitely enjoys the graveyard. Basically Snake Chaos. Chaotic Snakes for sure. But Marshmallow Yummy and Cupsy Yummy being added, Marshmallow Yummy being discarded there. Makes me feel like we already have the Yummy Surprise in hand, or we're going to search it out with the Cupsy Yummy. Special summoning the Cupsy Yummy. Number 16th finisher, watch out! Some parfaits, perfect too. But looks like Lollipop Yummy being added from the deck to the hands. Do we go in for the Martial Metal Marcher? Do we try to go straight for the Herald of Arc Light? Guess we're about to find out. Herald of Arc Light, crazy card from an era where level 4 synchros were hard to make. But actually going in for Sky Striker Ace Camilla. So doing the backwards combo here, sending the Hornet Drones to the graveyard, then making Kagari, do the Kagari, and grabbing the Hornet Drones back. Great way to test the waters. You know, does my opponent have Ash Blossom? Do they have Ghost Bell and Haunted Mansion? Are there any triggers activating here? Are they really good at toggling off to make sure that I don't know what they have? Well, we know where this is going. Hornet Drones retakes the field. Time for a token. And now Mitsurugi Prayer. So yeah, full on Yummy Mitsurugi, little sprinkle of Sky Striker on the top. Whatever it is that Ivan's on, assume it's snakes. Certainly going to have his work cut out for him, because the one thing I'm seeing that's the drawback of being Ivan, other than just being so successful with reptiles, is that you do have a combo deck, so you do have some hands are just not going to do anything, right? You're just going to have to play through whatever your opponent's got. Speaking of what they got, Mitsurugi Ritual being added from the deck to the hands. And now the ritual happens, I think, before anything, trying to set up the Murakumo, so then you could do more Yummy plays. Suss out that Demirio. And at least make it more painful for the opponent to activate. Alright. Contributing Murakuma. There's Habakiri. Blam. So that's going to get a Mitsurugi Mirror. And we're going right to the mirror. I think it'll be Habakiri for Murakumo. Yep, there's the Murakumo target. So swap out some snakes. Looked so good when Ivan did it. Lucas here to do the same. And wow, just both duelists just going at it. I'm curious to know what Ivan's game plan will be. But Lucas pretty much has everything they need. Now the Yummies come back. So taking a detour here, and the Sky Strikers combine. Gonna go ahead and make Lollipop Yummy way. Have two spaces open, so go ahead and special summon those two monsters over into the main monster zone. Sometimes, and we have seen that this tournament, people summon to the extra monster zone. But being very careful not to lock yourself out of some future plays here where you don't have to. Could see the Martial Metal Marcher here. Ooh, but instead I think it's Baron de Flail. Allons-y! Level 10 Synchro Monster. Still good, wild to see it. Not used to it considering it's gone from the TCG. Lollipop Yummy slapping down. A lot of different options. Maybe Sprite Elf to bring back Lollipop Yummy. Looks like that is the play here as we link summon. You watch your duels long enough, you kind of get into their headspace. So Sprite Elf is going to bring back a Yummy way. So Cup Seeming Way back on the field. And then using Gimme Surprise. Really just incredible stuff here. Like, I cannot believe this. This is really cool. You may not think so. That's okay. We're having a good time over here. As Marshmallow Yummy recycles Yummy Surprise. Perfect sequencing, multiple negates on field, absolute protection from the Sprite Elf. And some room there to make a Herald of Arclight to go on the far left side. But it looks like we're going to go for a level 3, so it could be the Shamisen. It is our Samsara Solo Cat. Still a tuner. And so what a field. So insulated, so protected, so careful. Sprite Elf pointing its arrows at Murakumo and the Herald of the Arclight. Baron de Flail and Murakumo and Herald of Arclight themselves. Multiple negates. And a great way to replace your monster with the Sprite Elf as well. So good resources. This is it. Main phase 1. All right, Ivan. So many rounds led to this. Let's see what you got. Mitsurugi Prayers activates. Multiple ways to negate it. Tributing off the Futsu no Matama. Gonna activate the Sprite Elf to special summon one of the Yummy ways. Deciding not worried about the tribute. So Sprite Elf summons. And our Cupsy Yummy Way is back. So both effects here, everything very crucial, very critical. Trying to make the comeback here. Ivan's life is not on the line. He's got a game to burn, but he doesn't want to do that. So Futsu no Matama and Mitsurugi can activate its effects. And Aramasa the same, so 2 more Mitsurugi cards coming up. At any point you can jump in here, right? 3 negates on field. But it looks like Lucas is being very careful. Got that blessed opportunity to go first, right? Sure, you lost the first game, but oh, wow. Sending the field spell away with Forbidden Droplets. Slowing things down as slow as you can go. So pour out a cup. Sorry, you are not getting your effect on Aramasa. Your Futsu no Matama will, but it won't be able to special summon it. So Ivan may kind of be getting stunted here. Slowed down by just way too many card effects to deal with. But he's not stopping just yet. So Mitsurugi Ritual added from the deck to the hand. What's next, though? 5 cards in hand and still no access to your graveyard. Triple Tactics Talent. The declaration is... draw 2 cards. Doesn't want to take your monster. Too many negates to speak of. Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, though. Everything going Lucas's way. Still 4 cards. Getting rid of the Ash Blossom feels okay, but you're still staring down 3 negates. Mitsurugi Ritual. Is Lucas going to blink? Yes. Baron de Flail finally says no, negating the activation, destroying the card. Be gone. 3 cards remaining, but 3 scary things on the field. The Yummy Way, the Herald of Arclight, and of course the Murakumo. Either of those effects would be great to activate now. You almost want to use the Cupsy Yummy Way. Just push a few more Yummy effects, but it looks like instead we are going to go into the Murakumo and Mitsurugi. Both duelists fighting for their tournament lives. Ivan less so. Wants to close it out now. Doesn't want to send this to a final game. Grabs the Mitsurugi Ritual. Now just trying to fight through the Herald of Arclight and the Cup Yummy Way. But we'll exceed summon, turning these two monsters into King of the Feral Imps, and a glorious king he is. 23, battle phase. Decides it's just going to get rid of the Herald of the Arclight as Ivan sends the King of the Feral Imps. Kings don't need heralds. This king speaks for itself. Battle phase is good, so is the attack. A ritual monster can be added from the deck to the hand here. Habakiri. Certainly a little scary there, but gotta do what you gotta do. Means it's easier to detach. You're only really afraid of the yummies. And you're okay. You played through some yummies before. So Cup Yummy Way activates finally. It's the last card that has been used, monster-wise. But speaking of monsters, we're about to see quite a few on Lucas's field. Some wild stuff. This is insane. We waited all day for this. We're almost 7 hours in the tournament. Definitely worth the price of admission. At least I think so. All right, so Cookie Yummy coming back. And we'll be able to destroy something. A little sugar crash, right? Have too many cookies, you just take a nap. And if they're synchro cookies, man, those are loaded with sweets. But King of the Feral Imps is going to add the Amino Habakiri and Mitsurugi from the deck to the hand. Gives Ivan a little bit more play action here. But going to destroy that King of the Feral Imps, and that may be fine. May have already kind of done its job. So it's gone. So Habakiri revealing itself. Can't believe it hasn't been revealed. But now the Lullaby Yummy Way is going to swap out. Nothing doing there, so Lollipop Yummy Way will give rise to up to 2 yummies. And the choice is going to be Lollipop Yummy and Yummy Snatchy. Oh, getting the field spell back. Lucas just hanging in there, but like Ivan not giving up an inch. So new chain links. Saji's going to go grab another Mitsurugi Speller Trap. And Lollipop Yummy is going to try to banish some cards. So, oof, Mitsurugi Purification getting banished. It still technically has the ability to work with Yummy Snatchy. Just... it's nice to see basically the highest level gameplay and what is the end of an era, considering that we're going to get new content in the anniversary. Just a couple of days. Man, you're kingdom for a Raigeki sometimes, right? Although Sprite Elf may have a word or two to say about that. Ooh, but Ogdoadic Water Lily. So, send a reptile, then if you got 5 or more reptiles in the graveyard, special summon. Interesting. At this point, it would just be putting the 100 life points in the Yummy machine. Ivan may have only begun to fight. No way. No way. Really? Maybe. There's a distinct chance that like Ivan shows up to this duel off of this set of cards. Because you don't know what you don't know. And I don't know a lot of duelists that know Ogdoadic. Very long game 2 of the finals here. Ivan winning game 1. Lucas is down a game. But we are going to let that resolve. And so which Ogdoadic shall we revive? Great Serpent Master. It's going to be Nalia. And that'll allow him for the adding of an Ogdoadic spell or trap from the deck to the hand. Lucas very quiet now, considering all the other cards that have been used up. Oh, and tributing a reptile, targeting a face-up card to destroy it. Targeting the Yummy Statue, kind of forcing this play out. Pays 100 life points. Could have waited, decided not to. Let's see what they get for the trouble. So Link summon using the Yummy Snatchy as the tuner monster and Lollipop Yummy. And it's going to be Cookie Yummy Way. Oh, and that's the scoop. Finally out of gas, but Ivan tried their best. All right, fam. This is it. We are going to the last game. If you're just joining us, hello. Nice to see you. But Ivan won game 1 of our finals. Lucas won game 2 of our finals. And that's the end, right? There's no more content. Kidding, of course. We still got one more. As all of you are waiting in the chat, 15 spectators there if you take a look at the Master Duel board. And Ivan taking a step off too. Has to think. Oh no, he sat right back down. Oh, jumped away. Is he changing the snakes up? Game 3. Ain't no more after this. Gotta spend it. Goodness gracious. What a tournament, friends. It's been such an honor to hang out with you guys and see all of this. Like, those are the words I have for this. But we're on pins and needles now. Now every move counts. Ivan gets to go first. Imagine Lucas tries something different. Maybe it backfires. Maybe Ivan tries something different. He's been on snakes all day. Gets a little rusty with a deck he hasn't played in a while. Perhaps it's the same. And Ivan, just in the first game, gets uninterrupted play and just summons out everything in the world. This is the most important part of the duel. Not the duel, but the duel is thinking about what it is they're going to show up with. Only in this style of tournament could you be like, you know, I think it's time for Blue Eyes White Dragon. That's what we're doing. And hey, Blue Eyes can get it too, but I don't think that's what Ivan has his sights on. But having finally won a game against an intimidating opponent, does Lucas switch it up or just maybe take out some Mulcharmies or something? I mean, obviously you want to keep those Mulcharmies, especially if you're likely to go second. Unless Ivan switches it up and says, nah, you go first, fam. I do not know. I do not know. But I know how we find out. We just watch. Man, what an age of Blue Eyes we had this last year, bringing up the old stuff, but I'm hoping that it's Dark Magician's time soon. And I'm hoping we get to see this duel soon, too. This has been a really hype one. They're always good. If you watch, like, every video I've done, I'm always excited, but there's a certain level of nuance and substance and just scholarly intent to show us snakes. Well, the duelists have sat down. Duelists, are you sitting down? Because I think I'm about to hit the spectate button. Just anytime I can, slap that button and get to see a good duel. It's a great day. It's a great day. Hopefully you've had a good time. After this, we'll close things out. And don't forget that next week, February 7th and 8th, we're doing this live again on Twitch as we commentate 768 players. We won't get to see everybody, but we do get to see this duel starting now. All right, friends, game 3 for the finals. Get hype. Here we go. 2 duelists go in. Only one emerges. Our deck master champion. Interesting. Lucas being made to go first. What's Ivan doing now? Oh, he knew! He knew! Gem Knights being slipped in with the same sleeves and the same field. Gem Armadillo, normal summon, grabs the Gem Knight Quartz. Gem Knight Hollow Quartz effect activates, sending a Gem Knight Fusion to special summon itself. He tried. Gem Knights. Well, maybe they will win that special collection voting period after all. But Gem Knight Phantom Quartz, Link Summon, adding the Gem Knight Dispersion. Gem Knights do have going first plays. They're not quite as good as the Go second place, my goodness, but Gem Knight Dispersion going to be used for the Fusion summon here. So hand or field, or up to 2 monsters from the deck, extra deck, if they're non-rock monsters. So 2 from the deck, Quartz and Nephilim. And making Gem Knight Seraphonite for that additional normal summon. Weird to see it with more than 0 attack. Quartz and Nephilim will go and activate their effects respectively. And Hollow Core going back to the hand. And Nephilim is going to go and swap out for the Hollow Core, where Hollow Core prefers to be, right, with its Banish and Negate effect. Nephilim is then going to go ahead and add another Gem Knight Dispersion. Just wild. The bait and switch on the Gem Knights. I was curious because Lucas showed a lot of decks. Didn't see this one. So we're going to use Gem Knight Dispersion's other effects to add. And then getting that additional normal summon. Another Gem Armadillo, so another Gem Knight monster going from the deck to the hand. Powerful deck. I mean, it's done great so far. It's something you really try to keep low, you know, under the radar, close to the chest, however you want to say it. And I think the finals is a great time to show up with it, but somehow Ivan knew. So we get SP Little Light appearing, and then Brilliant Fusion's turn. I remember when that was just used for an extra normal summon, but now we're seeing 3 go to the grave, Nephilim Quartz and Hollow Core, for Diamond Dispersion. Got the special summon some Gem Knights, but first we'll pay 1,000 life points. Shuffle away some materials from the Graveyard or Banishment. Basically just getting set up here. Nephilim Quartz. Give way to Lady Rose Diamond. Do get a little disruption there. And that's enough for NDA to go ahead and give up the Seraphonite. And now we're getting 3. Oh, it's the Gorgon of Zillophonia. Come at me, Snake Boy. I've got snakes too. Gem Knight Master Dispersion bringing out Aquamarine in defense mode. And this may just be about surviving. Also gets Seraphonite back. I mean, this has been a real treat. Ah, it's been a real treat. End phase. Okay. Let's see what Ivan has. Because you don't want to give Gem Knights a battle phase, that's for sure. And maybe it's 7,000 life, but still a lot to work through. So let's get it started. Amino Habakiri no Mitsurugi reveal to special summon a Mitsurugi monster from the deck and tribute a monster that is controlled by you. Do you Hollow Core? No, so no Hollow Core negate there. All right, Wolsu hit the field, and then tributing Wolsu, which makes me think that we probably have a Kusanagi somewhere. But you can always just use the classic effect, discard to add. So banishing 3 Gem Knight cards instead to negate that effect. And the attack boost, by the way. All of a sudden, many of these monsters add to the range of the very powerful Amino Monokuma no Mitsurugi. 3,200 is no joke. Speaking of no joke, Saji being summoned, trying to add a Mitsurugi spell or trap. And this one makes it through. Got to play all the way to the right side. Don't want to get in the Gorgon's visage, right? Kind of funny, too, when you think about it. Gorgons, you don't look at them, so don't look at these link arrows. I just love the vibe of the cards. All right, so gonna Ritual Summon here. No response. Still have that SP Little Knight threatening disruption for sure. So same with the Night Sword Serpent, gonna try to Exceed Summon here. I imagine we'll see the King of the Feral in pretty fast. But the other material is Kusanagi. So Murakumo out on the field. And it is kind of odd. Like, you really have to play, like, over here. You kind of have to be like, Gorgon, I'm not seeing you. It's fine. But SP Knight, jumping in the fray, trying to get rid of the Murakumo. Do we have the ability to tribute it? We do. Mitsurugi Prayer's effect activates. Let's tribute a Reptile. Why don't we? Feels like a good idea. Well, Ivan's got the right idea. Tributing it for both effects to add a Mitsurugi monster and then take 800 and special summon a Mitsurugi back. Gonna go ahead and grab Futsuno Matama and Mitsurugi. Take 8. Doesn't feel great. But we're gonna have the Wolsu. And now losing some monsters there. Just wild. Serpent appears, right? Night Sword Serpent. Certainly been helpful throughout the tournament here. Murakumo also on the way after adding Mitsurugi Great Purification, so maybe not able to close it out just this turn. Some big old monsters, that's for sure. The Gem Knights remain. Everything else got destroyed though, so Gorgon of Zilophonia no longer has to be dealt with. Open your eyes, duelists. And now we get the Reptile Echidna. Gonna make something 0. Oh, good choice. Seraphinite. There's gonna be Lady Rose Diamond all the way down. Adding Nunu the Aquatic Remnant. So getting to the full snake combo. This really could be it. Gem Knights are good, and they definitely put up a huge fight. Still a lot of monsters on the field, but the gameplay seems almost unmitigated at this point. So tributing off the Futsuno Matama and Mitsurugi. We'll make sure to post the Discord link in the description shortly, so you guys could join this next week. 768 players are going to be able to enter. Gotta have a US address though. Rules in that Discord though. But speaking of rule in the duel, oh my goodness. Nephilibis, the Ogdoadic Overlord, showing back up, and we got the Magatama. Big numbers on field, and Habakiri doing a good job to like reduce the gains that came after the Holocore. Now we've got a Haggard Lizardos. Now you have the Ogdoadic Remnant also joining the fray here. Remember, you're going to send the light reptile monster from the deck to the graveyard. So, what's better than having the Ogdoadic Overlord? Him being joined by other Ogdoadics. Alright, Snake friends. Go and add another Ogdoadic Speller Trap. Doesn't seem like it's time for tokens just yet. Kind of be a waste, but gonna get the Ogdoadic Daybreak anyway. Maybe you don't need a lot of tokens, maybe you just need 2. Time to tribute. After the Nunu the Ogdoadic Remnant shows up on the field. Gonna go ahead and Xyz summon. Are we finally seeing the King of the Feral Imps? Seems like he's a little tardy to the party. But he's back. Still feels good. Strong main phase 1. If Ivan runs this all the way back and had like the foresight not to go first, knowing that his opponent could be on anything battle phase related, from Tempai to Memento to Gem Knights. Black Mamba on the field. A little snake bite. Gonna change it to attack mode. Nobody gets to hide in defense. Haggard Lizardos adding to the fray. Reducing even further and drawing a card. It's wild to see Haggard Lizardos like actually do its thing. 2 zeros on board. You don't got to do much. And now, no way, the clap back. I've got the Gorgon. 4,200. What? This is so satisfying to see. I know that if you're Lucas, maybe not so, but you did a great job. If you lived through this turn, you definitely can come back with your Gem Knights. But now we go to the battle phase. 4,200. Is the 3,200 from Ame no Murakuma no Mitsurugi enough? You can special summon the card back. The Gem Knight Dispersion on its way to the field. But nothing further. Murakumo attacks! And that's the game! Luke is coiled around by one of the biggest serpents in the game. But being a friend to snakes was not enough. Ivan, the king of the feral imps. What? What? Chat, what? Wow. Yes, sir, indeed. Okay. So, wonderful prizes. If you'll take a look, remember that this is what everybody's taking home. And Ivan walking away with a Steam Deck, the Deckmaster Cup medal, the Millennium Eye Globe, the backpack, the plushie set, the desk mat, and the pin set. But if you made top 16, you'll get that. If you made top 8, you'll get what top 16 does, and top 8, and so on and so forth. Good stuff. As a reminder, I'm going to be back on February 7th and 8th. And let me get you that Discord link now. I'm going to, of course, place it in the description of the video. But that was a real treat. That was... We don't get duels like that every day. He is the Serpent King. All right. Well, I'm going to think very hard about reptiles, because do we even need new cards in Master Duel? There are still more looks to see. But we're going to be back next weekend for another marathon set of streams. There'll also be some YouTube content in between. I'm going to upload this to YouTube. Hi, YouTube. But, like, need I say more? Do I even need to talk anymore? You saw the duel. Thank you for putting up with me. And thank you for joining me. This was like a really solid tournament. Just really good stuff. Oh my goodness. How do you top that? I guess we'll find out next week, won't we? Well, until then, duelists, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next